Welcome back to another episode of Unapologetically Her, the podcast that's for her, by her. And for today's episode, I am joined by Bria, and we'll be discussing the topic of self-evolvement. So welcome to the podcast.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bria.
How are you? How are you holding up during COVID?
oh, COVID is shook my world for some good, for some bad. I'm back home with my family, so it's great to have a little downtime to get this interview in before my family comes home. But other than that,
Mhm.
things are pretty good.
I love that. Love that. So before we actually jump into the topic and everything,
Mhm.
to let people know where they can follow you, where they can run you a check, where they can look you up, tell them all about.
Yes. Okay, awesome. So the way to find me is at Duelist Bloom. It's my baby. That's my little podcast and self-discovery experience. That's what I'm calling it. So I'm a self-discovery coach and an involvement guide. So what that means basically is that I help you uncover and discover things about yourself to help you live a life that is unique to your needs and your desires, because we're all meant to live our own unique life and we're not one size fits all. So we got to figure out what works for us so we can live our best life. So the way that you can connect with me is I do monthly village nights where people can come and I hold space for you. I do a little workshop and we have a little conversation at the end. So it's really for you. I like to put those workshops in there so you can have something to think about, something new, maybe something you were interested in. Like this week or this month, we're doing Embrace the Change, and that will be it's just a donation-based community event. So no pressure there. If you want to just come, feel me out, check out the vibes, that's the way to go. And then I'm also in the process of launching my Evolvement Women Circles. So if you love what we talk about here today, come into these circles, and it's 5 women per circle. So it's super intimate and we get to give you that space to really uncover and share what's going on in your life so we can support you and your growth. That's what we do. And if that's where you want to connect with me, I'm at Dewless Bloom on Instagram. And so that's DEWLESS Bloom. And then you can also find me at dewlessbloom.com, the website.
Love that. Now, just for people, just in case, I'm in Toronto, but where are you located?
I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. But we'll still be able to connect. Instagram is international, so there's nothing stopping us from working together if you're interested.
Perfect. So you see, you guys don't really have to be in the States. I wish I was, because this sounds amazing. I wish I was in in person to experience it, but I'll take the Instagram, I'll take the Zoom until we can just zoop zoop across the border.
Yeah, I'm excited for everything to open back up because I would love to travel and host some retreats eventually. But, that'll probably be in 2023. We got to let that simmer for a while.
Oh, simmer everything to perfection. Go for it.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So I guess we'll jump right into the questions then. So my first question for you, we did discuss how are you. So aside from COVID, how's everything else for you?
Running a business is a lot. I'm just going to say that right now. I started my business during COVID accidentally. I just did my podcast and I was like, okay, cool. This is just a podcast. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this for, but this is fun. And then I was like, okay, maybe I can do this more seriously. I was being consistent and I've never really been super consistent about things before. So I was super excited and I just kept leaning into it. And then I was like, whoa, I could be a coach. I was like, wow. And so I hired my coach to help me feel confident to show up for other people as a coach. And then that just led from one thing to another, going to events, connecting with people. And here I am
I
almost a year later.
love it.
Yeah. So it's still a learning process to online business and communicating and sharing my offer and doing all of those things. It's new. I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
But it's been, I'd like to consider myself a lifelong learner. So this is just one of those things that I'll have in my toolbox for later on down the line, whether I'm supporting a client or supporting myself through another endeavor. I don't know. We never know.
Oh, but I love how you said you accidentally started during COVID and just kind of look how it snowballed and you kind of found something that not only oh, okay, this is a cool pastime, but you found your love and your passion almost.
Yes, completely. Completely.
I love that. What
Yeah.
can I say? As sad as those effects of COVID has been, the amount of people we've lost and stuff. I feel like it's been a curse, but it's also been a blessing for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. It depends
Hmm.
on how it affects you personally and what you got out of it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you. I'm happy that I shifted my perspective because when I first moved back home, I was like, this is going to suck. But I made the most out of my time back home. I've saved lots of money so I could put it into the business, buying software. Like people don't tell you about all the things that you need to buy to for the foundation of the business. Like where you channeling your clients through because Google Forms ain't it.
Mhm. Let me tell
So
you, that's good.
yeah.
Well, you give me a little motivation already. We're not even 10 minutes in yet. I'm here for this.
Yay. I'm so happy. Uh,
Oh my gosh. Alrighty. So my next question for you is, why is it important to discuss self-evolvement, especially with regards to young women?
whew, okay. I Self evolvement is just the constant journey of looking inward to make sure that you're living your best life, to make sure that you're living the life that you want to live. So, I'll use myself as an example. When I was in school, I wanted to be a chef, like when I was in grade school. And I was like, okay, maybe that's not what I want to do. So I was like, okay, I'll be an OBGYN. And then I explored that for a while, realized that I didn't want to do that in that way. And so come high school, when it's really time to be like, okay, where am I going to college? Where am I doing all of these things? I
Mhm.
decided to not even go to college and I enlisted in the military and I went down that route. And then I ended up injuring myself, got discharged. And then I was like, okay, what's my next move? And I was like, okay, I guess I'll go to culinary school. I want to be a nutritionist. And so I went to school for that, realized that's not what I wanted.
Mhm.
And I wasn't interested in it. And the structure was a little bit too triggering for everything that I just experienced in the military. And
Yeah.
so I went back to, okay, maybe I'll be in public health. Took classes there. I said, that's not fun. And then I ended up in entrepreneurship. And that's kind of where I still am now. I ended up having to drop out of school for a number of reasons, COVID being part of it, my campus closing being another part of it. But self-evolvement through all that, I didn't decide to be one thing. And that's what I hate the most is when people say, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because you can be a lot of things. You should
Mhm.
be a lot of things. You should want to embody different things in your life. I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm I'm a friend, I'm a business owner. Like I am a lot of things other than just, okay, this is my career, this is my everything.
Yes.
And I try to like focus on how I want to feel. So instead of telling little girls that they have to be one thing and they have to just go down one path and do that one thing their whole life, I want you to have that feeling of adventure to your life and knowing that you can change your mind because that's your birthright. You can change your mind and say, okay, no longer serves me. I thought that I was going to be interested in that, but it's not anymore. So when you come at life with this, okay, this is just an evolving journey. Like I'm going to figure out what works best for me, keep what I like, leave what I don't. You're more open to a lot of possibilities in life.
I
That
love
makes sense?
that perspective. Yes, I feel like, oh shoot, go ahead, read me. I like.
Because I I'm a big sister. I'm one of five. I have two younger sisters. I have a 7-year-old sister, and one of my sister just turned 18. And so to see them, I always wanted to be the example to be like, you can do and be whatever you want to
Yes.
to be in life. And so I always came from that big sister perspective and just want to be like setting the example. Like obviously the military didn't work out and I was running in that direction for a number of reasons that weren't where I am right now. And
Mhm.
so when you identify what the root is to what you want, it doesn't matter what shape it takes form. Like I know that for me, I feel like my purpose in life is to help and serve others, help them figure out what they want to be, help them and support them through whatever they're going through. And you can help and support people in a many different ways. You can be a doula, you can be a doctor, you can be a social worker. There's a lot of different ways to help people. So
Mhm.
when you get down to the root of how you want to feel, I want to encourage and inspire and empower people. I can do that in any way. And so it doesn't stop you from evolving what you actually want to do into so many different things. So that's why it's important for these little girls to know that they can try different things. I'm all about leaning into what you're curious about. So I was curious about cooking. I still am a pretty good chef. I call myself a chef. I can throw down in the kitchen, but
Okay, girl.
I don't want to cook for people in a traditional setting in restaurants. I know that that's a skill that I've honed in through going to culinary school for a short period of time. So now I feel confident preparing dishes for my friends and family and showing love in that way. So
Yeah.
although I'm not a chef and it's not my profession, I should still be able to cultivate the skills that make me able to show up for the people that I want to show up for. So
Mhm.
that's kind of like the long answer to your question, but like, I don't know, like, what are some of the things that you were interested in that if you didn't explore wouldn't have allowed you to be who you are right now?
Ooh,
Think about it.
I think my thing is I was like almost on the path of you. Like I loved in a sense helping people. I
Mm-hmm.
thought when I was younger, the whole thing was I'm gonna be a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach. I'm going to teach like, French immersion, elementary school. And then when I started volunteering when I got older, I'm like, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Like, what else is there for me? I
Mm-hmm.
was going to do journalism. Last minute, I declined the offer and I went to a different school and to study communications, which is like a lot, much more broader, more avenues and lanes that you can take. And I said, you know what? I've always had the thing where I want to teach, I want to help people. But I like how you said you did not want to go the conventional route.
Mm-hmm.
Want to just conform to it has to be the structure. You have to be a chef, or you have to be in the military, or you have to be a nutritionist. You have to be this.
Yeah.
So that's where I was too, where I'm just like, I don't want to just be a teacher. I don't want to just do this. And I think that's when I fell in love with podcasting. Before I used to try YouTube, I also realized that's not my thing to just dress up and doll up and all. No, no, no. That was fun for a period of time. But podcasting for me, doing this is my way of teaching people, where I
Exactly.
get to sit with you. I get to ask you the questions where you're not normally going to hear. No one's
Yeah.
typically going to ask you and have these kind of conversations with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we get to have this conversation. We get to teach a bunch of other young women, young girls, whatever the case may be, about these topics that they don't get to hear about on a normal everyday basis.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, girl, inspiring right now. I hope you guys take away from this. This is just the first question alone, but you do not
Yeah.
have to conform. Be open to new things, be open to new methods. What worked in like 1920 is not working in 2021. I love
Mm-hmm.
2020 that I realized it's the new year. It's not gonna work now. All those conventional methods,
Mm-hmm.
to change them with all the resources that we have, the people that you can connect. Look how social media brought two people together from completely different countries, whatever the case may be. So
Exactly.
take advantage of these things.
Exactly.
Oh,
Oh,
speak to the people.
I
Oh,
will. I'm talking to y'all. I'm talking to y'all.
yes.
I can only be Bria, and I have a unique way of that I think, and so no, okay. Let me calm down because my brain is going, but
Oh,
something just came over me, so I gotta say it.
I'm just
You
pulling
are the
it.
only you in this whole world. I'm the only Bria in this whole world. I'm the only person who is interested in the weird things that I'm interested in. And we might have similarities, but there's certain things that make up who I am that nobody else can replicate. And so for me to dull my light or to water myself down is just not it. It's
No,
just not it. So I have to show up as Bria 100% everywhere I go because I need to share my spark with the world. I don't know who I'm going to inspire. I don't know who's going to take something away from this. One of my favorite quotes growing up was be strong because you never know who's watching. And it's just because like you could be making somebody else's day just from the smile on your face.
mhm.
And looking back on it, I don't really like the word strong, but it came across for little young Bria that it was like, yeah, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying to be the light for other people because maybe I'm the only person that they saw today with a smile on their face.
Right?
Let me just be a little light. Let me give you a little bit of my my shimmer, my sparkle, a little. A little trolls action. Some glitter for you, a little glitter for you.
Yes.
My brain is always going so fast. So I'm going to try to calm
No,
down so
you
I
guys
can
just
talk.
made me like almost like I say the same thing, but I think I say it in a little bit of a more crunchier way.
Yeah.
So we all came out of one woman on our own. Like me and you, we did not come out the same woman. Even if
Mm-hmm.
you're twins, you're coming out on your own.
Exactly.
So each person has their own individual, essence, characteristics, whatever the case may be. There's never going to be two of you. I don't care how identical you are. There's literally going to be, look at Tia and Tamara. You're always going to be
Right.
your own individual.
They have
So,
similarities, but very different.
yeah, very different. And that's okay. You can be your own person.
Mm-hmm.
Be inspired by someone, but you don't need to be them.
Ex-
Yeah.
I, because,
I just dropped some gems. Yeah.
it's hard. I guess I can relate to that. That's why it hits so hard. It's like when you're really inspired by someone, you want to mimic them in some way, but it's like mimicking people is not the same as you being yourself, is you taking that inspiration, turning it into something that works for you, is sustainable for you, and then sharing that with the world in some form.
Yep. Ooh.
It's a learning thing, because it's never just one time around the circle either. It's not even a circle. I was talking to my sister yesterday, and it was like, people can say that you're running around in circles and going through the same spot, but if you ever been in one of those like parking garages where like it spirals but it's going up like this, so
Yeah.
you might be going in a circle but you're going up a level, and so you're going through the same thing over and over in some form, but you're getting to a new level each time. I don't know.
Ooh. Dropping, you just dropping gems.
Sorry, y'all weren't ready for it. You weren't ready for it.
Trust me, wasn't ready, was not ready, but I'm here for it.
Bria has arrived, guys. I have arrived. I'm here. I want to work with you. I want to share with you. Be in my community. I'm awesome. Come on.
No,
Come on.
I heard the girl. Come on now. Come on. I'm afraid to ask you the next couple questions. Next one for you. Why do you feel people are resistant to change? Boom.
It really boils down to you being honest with yourself and trusting yourself, because if you're not being honest about what you want, how can the universe help you co-create the life that you want? How can you actually start to even begin to change if you're not being honest with yourself? So you first have to get really honest with yourself. And I know when I first started this journey of being like, okay, Bria, what do you really, really want? Like, without me like saying it to anyone else or feeling bad for thinking that I wanted more for myself. It's just like, I can want what I want, even if it doesn't look like what other people want. If I want to just buy some land out in the middle of nowhere, build my tiny home and live my best life, that's what I want. And so when you get honest with yourself about what you want, you can start to actually trust and believe in your capabilities to make that thing happen.
Yeah.
And so those are the first two things. I feel like some people get in their head too much and they're like, I don't deserve that. I'm not deserving of it. And it's working through like that shadow work and stuff and realizing that you are more than capable and more than deserving of what you want. And so I feel like that's the biggest reason why people feel resistant to change, is because one, they don't know what they want. Two, they don't believe that they actually deserve it. They don't trust that they have everything that they already need to get that, because everything's already in you, baby girl. Like, if you dig deep and you heal that inner child and bring her on the journey with you, because she's already so proud of you. Like, come on. And y'all see this thing together and walk into the future together. I'm really big on integrating who you were into the present moment and integrating who you are going to be in the present moment. So you're never truly alone. You have your past self, your future self, and you're on this journey together. Like, I'm always doing things for future Bria so she can do less work. And I'm always saying thank you to past Bria for checking those emails, typing things out, meal prepping. So when you actually start to connect with yourself, that's when you can start to really see that, hey, I have gone through this cycle of change already before, and I can do it again. And once you have those tools of like awareness of how change is, you're
Mm-hmm.
not scared to shift. You're not scared to go through transitions, because we're all constantly transitioning. If you think about it, we all want something more
Yeah.
at some to some level, whether it's big or small. Like you want to start doing a morning routine or something like that. Like that's still change. You don't want to be complacent anymore. You want to exercise, you want to wash your face, start a skincare routine, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's change. I feel like people always see change as something so big, but if you look at it as the small 15 steps that will get you to where you want to go, it's not that scary. You just really got to break it down into something digestible, believe that you can do it, and you got it.
One part that got me when you're just talking about people really not knowing what they want and not realizing they're deserving of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big thing for a lot of people right now, where they'd be like, okay, well, I'm kind of timid. I don't know if this is the right thing for me. What makes you think that you don't deserve this change?
Exactly.
Like,
And it's questioning yourself. I have started thinking about myself as this master person of like asking people the right questions, because it's like, why not? Like, who told you couldn't have that? The white man? Like capitalism, the patriarchy? Like, who told you couldn't have these things? Who told you it was weird to want to live in a van? Who made magic seem witchy and bad? Like, why are those things, why do they have a negative connotation? Why does it feel taboo to talk about? Like, when you ask yourself those things, it's like, okay, wait, maybe this is normal. Maybe this isn't something that has to be so bougie.
yeah,
Like, we can talk about these things, and it's just really being honest and being in conversation with yourself. I don't know if a lot of people talk to themselves. I do. It's healthy.
right.
And I literally talk to myself and say, well, why do I think this way? Or why, like, who told me that I couldn't do that? And usually your inner voice will be like, so and so said, and it'd be like 13 years ago, you still holding on to that. Like, girl, if you don't get your inner child, tell her it's okay, let that go. That teacher didn't even mean nothing. She ain't even thinking about you now. Like, you can start to like break away the rust so you
Yeah.
can see the diamond for everything that is already there. And you're so deserving. We're more than deserving. Life is such a gift. Like, you're deserving of everything you want, and everything that you want is on your heart for a reason.
Yeah.
Don't even have me going there, because
Okay, I'm already about to bring you back for a part 2. You don't even know. You coming back for a part 2.
I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Touching the soul right now. What?
These are conversations that I have with my sister every day for free.
Can you just start like a life coaching class? Like now, Zoom, I will attend.
I am trying to, girl. Guys, come on. Help me help myself, help you. Help me help you, help me, help us, help everybody, the collective.
Kill a tea boss. Kill a tea. I'm here for it. Oh my gosh. I'm just scared asking you these questions because you just hit it every time. On you, like Cleo, and set it off. Just one more. What? Okay. So number 4, what led to your journey of self-evolvement?
My journey, I will say this, I'm curious about a lot of things, and COVID really put everything together, helped me understand myself through like astrology, numerology, and just leaning into all of those things, which I've always been curious about, but I put them on the back burner because I was like, I need to go to school, I need to get education, get this piece of paper, blah, blah, blah. And so I was always looking to go into the future. I was always looking so far ahead and making sure that I was being super proactive. And that kind of stopped me, like COVID stopped me so that I can be more present and to really sit with everything that I put on the back burner. So, because I feel like I've been living this go, 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 like life. And COVID really told me to sit my behind down, figure
Don't
this
get
thing
caught.
out,
Don't worry.
and to figure out who I am and who I was and who I want to be.
Mhm.
So I was, there's a lot that I could say, but it really just comes down to I allowed myself to sit in the present and sit with everything that has happened in my life, to allow myself to cry and hold on to my inner child and say, damn, girl, you was hurt. Like, I didn't know I was that hurt. And so when I allowed myself to connect with past Bria, younger Bria, 12-year-old Bria, like every stage of who I used to be, it made me feel confident in the person I am right now, and to know that I'm not alone in where I'm going. So it just helped me to sit with the fact that I don't really need anybody, and not in the way that I don't need a community or support.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I want to feel comfortable being alone with myself. And I want to be able to laugh with myself. I want to be able to feel good with just being me. Because we can depend on a lot of people in our lives and they can be unreliable, but you should be able to be able to depend on yourself 100% of the time. Like, and it was super hard for me because I went from, I don't even remember too much about my past life because I wasn't present. I wasn't present there. I was always worried about the next assignment that needed to be done. How am I going to pay for tuition? Working 2 jobs. Like, when I tell you I was college student, Bria was just go, 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 go. Like 2 jobs, full-time student, super active on campus. Like, I worked on campus. So like I was really in this college life. And I remember good memories, but I don't remember ever checking in with myself, like, at all. So when I
just always on the go.
Autopilot, yes, autopilot, just going to work, checking in, clocking out. Like, I'm so in tune with my body and my emotions right now that I don't know how I ever disregarded them before. Like, going through, like, as a woman, hormones, we have our menstrual cycles, and just like I did not pay attention to anything I needed. Throughout the month, I was like, okay, let me pop this ibuprofen, take this vitamin C, like, we just gotta go. And so COVID said, sit down, figure out where you want to go, because right now it's not working. And I think that's what the collective needed during 2020. We all needed to sit down and be like, okay, why are we living this lives? Why are we working 9 to 5 and doing all of these things? Like, who told us that this is the way it had to be? Who said that life had to be about working till you die? Like, what about having fun? What about doing what you actually want to do? Travel should be free. I don't care what nobody says. You should be free to travel. Like, it's your birthright to experience it's your birthright to experience this world. They make it so hard. You know, I don't have my driver's license, and I haven't. And so
I get mine too. We in the same boat.
So happy to know I'm not alone in this, because people make me feel bad. They be like, Bria, you're not driving yet. I'm like, mind your business. A girl is working on it.
And then there's Uber. I'm good.
Oh, I always have people trying to give me rides anyway, but it's just like, I never realized how much freedom I could have, or that's not what I meant. I didn't realize how much freedom I didn't have because I wasn't able to go out and do what I wanted, because I was so busy doing what I thought I had to do. And so now I want to get this car, and my mom's like, Bria, are you gonna like get a place? I'm like, no, I'm about to get this car, and then I'm going to Washington, I'm going to Maine, I'm going to Rhode Island, I'm just driving, I'm going Airbnb-ing it up. And I just want to be on the road. That's all I want to do. And that's untraditional. That's very untraditional, and that's very expensive lifestyle. And I'm putting air quotes because expensive is relative to your situation, but that's what I want. So I just have to do what I need to do so I can live the life that I want. So that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm evolving every day and constantly in transition. And when you're really aware with yourself, because I feel like I'm hyper aware, it's annoying sometimes because it's like, okay, I'm trying to work through this, but now you bringing new stuff up. But it's a really nice place to be because I can't hide from anything anymore. Like, I really cannot. It's sad. I wish I could hide, but I can't.
No.
Emotions, they need to be felt.
How intact you are with yourself and how much now you know yourself.
Yeah. I can tell if I take like a new vitamin or something, I can like feel it on a molecular level if it's off or not. And some people are like, Bria, you're weird. I'm like, girl, I can't take that vitamin again. It got me all twitchy. Like,
But this is why I did a podcast towards the ending of last year with Natalie Wilson, and she's a breast cancer survivor, and she talked about even instilling in her daughters, know what your body feels like. So she's
mm-hmm.
talking in terms of cancer, but it still relates the same way. Feel yourself. Make sure you know, okay,
Yeah.
I've been feeling this before.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't here before. I never noticed this mark before. But same
Yeah.
thing with the vitamins. How you feel on the outside, you also have to pay attention to how you feel on the inside. So that's totally real. And like you said, the vitamins, if this is making you feel away,
Yeah.
like this is not for me. Maybe certain medications aren't for you.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to be in tune with your body because no one's gonna know your body better than you. Yep.
Nobody's going to know anything about you more than you do. So,
Look, you're not even the mother that birthed you, not your partner, not your child.
and,
No one will know you better than you.
and that's why I'm just all about my job is just to help you lean into yourself. Like it's not about me providing you the answers. You already know. I'm just here to help you feel confident and believing and trusting in yourself so you can go do what you already want to do. You already know it. Exactly. Just jump in the water. Got 3 toes in. No, it's good. Go.
Put the whole body in. It's okay.
Yes. Dive.
Oh, I love that. See, I'm telling you, COVID was a curse, but it's also a blessing. Just depends on really who you are and what you took away from this
Mm-hmm.
moment. God willing that you've been healthy this whole time, or no case,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever the case may be. But my next question for you is, what would you like to say to the women and young girls who are wanting to start their journey to self-evolvement, but don't know where to start?
It's a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Realize that it's a journey and it's a lifetime of a journey. It's not, there's no destination to this journey at all. There's no destination. The journey is the destination. You have to realize that this is going to change. I feel like people don't realize how often, like, change is one of the only things that are guaranteed in this life. Your life is going to change. When you're brought into this world, you're going to, just thinking about like milestone changes that happen in our lives. We go to preschool and then we go to like kindergarten, and then from grade school we go to middle school we go to high school to college, or whatever we're doing. And then if you decide that marriage is for you, you get married and you have kids, potentially you start a new career, you decide you want to try something new in your life. Like, life is all about navigating what you really want.
Mm-hmm.
So when you embrace those changes and lean into it, pay attention to it, you can like navigate it with more ease rather than meeting it with resistance. All of these things will happen at some point in your life, or dealing with the loss of someone. Like, we know that people, like, nothing in this life is permanent. And once we accept that nothing is permanent, we can appreciate it for what it is, say thank you, and live in every second that we have it. So when it's no longer here anymore, we know that we have all the memories,
Yeah.
all of those things. Like, yes, we change a lot, and the life is you just have to embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't try to wake up the next morning and be living in your dream home. Like, let's be realistic about it. It's not going to happen overnight, but realize that every step you take is progress, and you should celebrate every small win. Like, whenever I go live on my Instagram, people might think it's not a big deal, and I know it might not seem like I'm an introvert here while we're talking, but that's just because I'm really good at one-on-one. Like, I am really good at one-on-one. If it's a big group of people, I can't do it. And then with live, I don't get to see people's reactions back to me. It's just these comments, and am I talking to anybody? Am I talking to a wall? So for me to get through it successfully, I
Mm-hmm.
need to go have a solo dance party. I need to. We did that, girl. Like, yes, Bria, yes. I am my own best friend.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on this journey, you should be your own best friend. You should hype yourself up. You should be your best hype man, and have check-ins with yourself. I as a business owner, I don't get to celebrate all my small wins in my business with people, because if they're not entrepreneurial, they are not really going to understand every win on the level of what it is. So I do like little video chats, like messages to myself. And I'm like, hey, Bria, just checking in. Like, you did a really good job today. I'm so proud of you. I know you're going to be doing this next week. So I hope, like, I wish you luck. Like, I do those little videos, and I do them on Snapchat, and I save them as memories. So like a year from now, I'll be able to see it. And then I'll be like, oh, Bria, you were so cute. Like,
Yes.
but it's like, I make sure, like, I'm super intentional about connecting with myself. So on this journey, you should be your best friend. You should be checking in with yourself. Time with you and just you alone is so important. And I'm thankful that I figured this out in my life before I got married and had a partner, or before I had children, or before I was in too deep with anything in my life, because it changed my perspective about going into anything. I know that nothing's permanent, and I know that things can change. And if I ever decide to get into a relationship, I know that we have to choose each other every day. Are we going to choose each other? Even in a friendship, are we going to choose each other every day? Are we going to choose to show up supportive and loving and be communicative if there's something going off wrong, or if something's off? Like, if you need a day off, I'm going to need you to let me know so I can let you have your space to do your healing, your shadow work, whatever you need to work through.
Yeah.
So I don't even remember the question anymore. But it's so important to connect with yourself, and then to communicate what you're going through with other people. Because being at home, COVID, I'm sorry that I keep bringing it up, but COVID is a big part of everybody's life at this point. Coming back home and not having the space to myself the way that I used to, I had to be like, Mom, I'm going through a lot right now. If you see me crying in the kitchen, I'm okay. Like, we're just
detoxing.
That's what's happening. A good cry is a healthy cry. And it's just like, you never want people to be like, oh my gosh, Bria, are you okay? Or to like trigger you in some way. So if you're proactive about it in that way and being like, hey, I'm gonna need a moment. I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow. Like, legit, don't come to this door. If you see me out in the open, just talk to me tomorrow. I just need today.
There's something you said in the beginning of your answer, and I think I want you to kind of elaborate on that a bit more.
Okay.
You said there's no final destination.
Yeah, there's none.
The journey is the
destination.
Can you expand on that just a little bit more?
So it's all about your mindset, your perspective on what you want. If you think that happiness is a goal, or is a destination, or whatever you're desiring for your life is the goal, you're going to be chasing it until the day you die, because so many different things can happen that will take you away from that feeling. Being happy all the time isn't our natural state. So you have to understand that you're going to be sad some days, and you just have to let yourself be sad. And like I said, change is like, nothing is permanent. Yeah. So happiness cannot stay. If you were happy like Poppy from the Trolls all the time, would you really be happy? Would you really be happy, or would you just be putting on a mask for people? Yeah. So like, when you think about it as, I don't know, it's like running on a treadmill thinking you're going somewhere and you're really not. Like, you're just running, and it's like, you could hop off the treadmill and still be fine, and still be making growth in your life. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
a little bit. Okay. Because no, what am I trying to say? No progress is progress. Like, you learn something when you're not moving, when you're just being still. So it's not about how fast you're moving into your goal, because it's not really. Sometimes it's not even about the goal. Sometimes we're just searching for a feeling. And when we allow ourselves to just feel that and choose to always come back to that feeling, because I'm sad, I get sad. Like, I know I seem like I'm happy right now and that I'm fine, but like, I get sad, and that's okay. I just choose to be sad alone. I don't want to bring people into that with me. That's not what I want to show to the world. That doesn't make me fake. That doesn't make me anything
No.
else. It just makes me a human that doesn't want to be on display when she's going through emotions.
Yeah, which is totally fair.
And when you allow yourself that space to not be on display,
Mm-hmm.
because the journey is not for show. It's not for show. This is not Instagrammable, because shadow work is not pretty. It's not rainbows and glitters. Like, you're going to be crying a lot. You're going to be frustrated a lot because you're not going to be getting the answers. Or we could even talk about like knowing the signs, because people, when they're first learning to trust their gut and their intuition, they don't know what it feels like to have, like, is this the sign? Like, they're asking themselves that. So it's going to be frustrating until you learn what it really feels like in your body to be like, okay, this is what feels right for me. This feels good. So going there and then noticing when something's off. It's really all about just sitting with yourself, because if you think you're going to learn yourself in one day or learn yourself in I'm laughing because I'm just thinking about, as women, our hormones are so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, just honestly, we never really know what we're going to get every day. And so if you expect to show up every day the same, you're crazy.
Mm-mm.
You crazy girl. Like,
Oh.
yeah. I could go on and on for days. I am Chatty Cathy.
No, when I tell you, anyone who's listening to this right now, I'm sure you've taken notes. You feel like you've been seen, you've been heard, you've probably been read, and that's okay. Like, I'm sure there's like, it's a roller coaster of emotions actually listening to you speak about this. Because again, these are things that people don't, this in itself, this topic is almost like taboo. And my favorite part is that you saying there's no one way to do things.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no one path. There's no final destination. These are things that have been misconstrued for so long because we think there is only
Mm-hmm.
one way to do something. There
And
is a final destination that we have to reach.
there's no destination, honey. Life is meant to just be lived.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no good or bad, wrong or right way to live this life. And
No.
I'm going to say it again. There's no good or bad, right or wrong way to live this life. It's just following what feels good for you. You know, as long as you're not hurting yourself, hurting anyone else, or hurting the world, like the earth, physically, nature, littering, things of that nature, I'm okay. I support you. Just as long as you're not intentionally hurting other people, you should go for it. Like, what's holding you back? Only you.
Right? Oh, you're just gonna make me have a whole life change by the end of this episode.
I want to help y'all. I'm so happy if your life has changed.
Feel like this is what a lot of people needed during this time. This is a conversation a lot of people need to hear. But my next question for you is, what does it mean to look inward within ourselves?
Looking inward is just giving yourself the attention that you crave. Like, everything that you're looking for outwardly from other people, give
Mhm.
it to yourself. Just give it to yourself, because you can't control anyone. A lot of things are out of your control. The only thing you can control is how you treat yourself and how you treat other people. So
Mhm.
treat yourself well. Treat yourself like you would your best friend. I would take my best friend out for lunch. I would buy her something nice. You know, I want to laugh. I would watch movies with her. So do that with yourself. Like, really lean into who you want to be and who you want to have in your company. Because when you lean inward, you attract, trust me, you will attract everything that you've been desiring your whole life when you give it to yourself. Because now you're radiating that thing, and now you're a magnet for everything that you want. Like,
Mhm.
literally a magnet for it. Like, you're happier because you're giving yourself the attention that you want. You're no longer, I don't want to say desperate, but like, you're no longer seeking it outwardly.
Yeah.
Because when you show up and it's just like, oh, okay, I don't really care if anyone thinks this joke I say is funny. I'm gonna say it just to say it, and I'm gonna laugh. Like,
Once you're entertaining yourself, that's all that matters.
just really have fun. Like, I don't like, high school was not fun for me, and that was just because I was trying to be what other people told me that I should be. And
Free.
when I realized I had a voice, I had a perspective, I deserved to be heard, I first have to hear myself, and then I can demand other people to hear me. Because like, if you're not hearing yourself, like, you got to go back and talk to that 3-year-old you, that 4-year-old you, like, really, you really do. And I feel like people aren't ready for that because they know how hurt they were back then. They didn't get the attention they needed from their parents, their siblings. I know it. I know it. I've been in your shoes. I didn't get what I needed, but I didn't let it make me bitter. I was just like, okay, obviously some people didn't work through what they needed to work through. They're not ready to start this journey, and I can't make them. So all I can do is be like, okay, what can I do for me? How can I show up for myself so I don't feel like I need people? Because you don't need people, you need yourself.
Yes.
It's nice to be in community with people, and I don't like doing things alone because I like sharing the experience with other people. Like, if I can bring someone on and we can have a shared experience, that's more meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm with myself all the time. Like, I have a good time with myself all the time. So if I can bring people along the journey with me, that's more exciting. That's more fun for me. But really, you gotta talk to that little you, that past version of you. And it's scary. It's hard. I recently started going through like my spiritual awakening, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
And I thought that I didn't need shadow work. I was like, oh no, I love me. I don't need that. And then I did this guided meditation for healing your inner child. I was crying. I was like, dang, I didn't know I needed a hug.
Yeah.
I didn't know that little Bria was still in me, still like sad. Like, oh, that's crazy. But once I picked her up, told her, we good, you coming with me, like, you have to decide not to leave yourself in that place anymore. Don't leave her there. Don't leave her in the shadow. Bring her here. Bring her into the light with you. And that's why I'm always playing around being in my childlike spirit, because she's always with me.
Yeah.
I don't let her sit in the shadows anymore. And if she's hurting, I'm like, okay, we can sit in this for a little while, but you got 20 minutes. And then we about to have a dance party and bring these vibrations back up, because we can sit in it, say, acknowledge it, but there's not much we can do in that place or in that state. So it's like, bring her with you. Come on, throw yourself a little pity party for a little bit, and then pick yourself up and be like, okay, let's go watch this movie. Let's go do this. Like, you can choose not to stay in that state.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people, like, I'm in the place where I can do it for 20 minutes and then get out, but maybe you're not there. Maybe you need to sit with it and allow it to revisit you. And really working through it when you're in the beginning is hard, because you'll have lots of triggers. I don't want to make it seem like it's going to be as easy as this is just where I am right now in my journey. There can be some things in the shadows that I thought I brought to light that are going to come up later on, and I'm be like, damn, okay, let's sit with this. And it's not like I sit with it for a day. Sometimes it's not even a week, it's a month. And it's just, when it comes up, you allow yourself to sit with it. There's so many things that can trigger you or bring you back to a memory or a different place, whether it be a smell or whatever. And I always find it really grounding to figure out what triggered it. So if something does ever come up, I just want to make sure I'm giving some support to people who might be going through this. Once you figure out what it is, identify it, and then say thank you that it brought that to your awareness. Because whether it was the song or the smell, the color of someone's shirt or their silhouette, come on, sometimes it's just a silhouette and you'd be like, dang, I thought that was so-and-so. When you figure out why it came up for you, that helps you process it, because then you can say, that wasn't the thing. First off, that's not the actual thing. You're not in that place. You can say thank you for the realization, and now you can actually deal with it and bring that thing to light and bring it out of the shadow.
It's called shadow healing.
Shadow work.
Okay.
Shadow work, shadow play, healing your inner child. There's lots of different names for it, but that's the first step to really leaning into yourself, is getting to know her, healing all those things. And again, that's not a destination either. That's the journey, because there's going to be things that you thought you worked through that come back up. So when you really embrace the journey, it's just like, you don't want to leave anything in the shadow. If you can bring it with you, bring it with you. So it's easier, and you're aware, and you're like, oh, Okay, cool. That happened.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you're good instead of suppressing it or avoiding it or ignoring it, because that's only going to fester and it's going to come back more aggressive and
Uh,
you'll be in the sunken place a little bit longer. But allow yourself to feel it. Leaning inward is scary.
oh, it's scary, but clearly it's something that needs to be done. And if you do it,
Hmm.
you're definitely going to learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah, because everything that you're looking for now is back there.
Hmm.
It's back there in some form or shape. The answer that you're looking for to the questions that you're asking right now are back there.
Yeah.
So look into your past, sit with it. And I'm not telling you to reopen every wound right now because you can't.
Mm-mm.
Don't do that. Small doses, small doses. Work with one thing at a time.
Yeah.
One thing at a time. Don't rush it because, like I said, it's the journey. It's not about reaching the end goal. So,
Well, see, I feel like you kind of covered this within your answer, but just in case,
yeah,
when looking inward, how do we assure ourselves that we are in alignment with our journey to self-evolvement?
that is I did not answer that. So, being in alignment, and can you ask it one more time so I make sure I don't go off on a tangent?
Yeah, no worries. So when looking inward, how can we assure ourselves that we are in alignment with our journey to self-evolvement?
Mm-hmm. So when you're in this, one more time. Wow, Bria, one more time.
No, it's okay, girl. It's okay. Let it just fester. So when looking inward, how can
Mm-hmm.
we assure ourselves that we are in alignment with our journey to self-evolvement?
You have to follow what feels good. You have to allow yourself to feel good. I
Mm-hmm.
there's no shame in feeling good. You are deserving. We established that you deserve everything that you want.
Yeah.
So if you feel drawn to it, allow yourself to go there, because even if that's not what you actually want, there's a lesson that you're supposed to learn. There's something that's going to spark, or maybe there's something else there that's going to lead you to the next thing. And so you have to just go where you feel good. That's how you know you're in alignment. If you're feeling resistance, or you've tried to do something so many times, aka getting your license, it wasn't the time. It wasn't right at that point for some reason, and it's just okay, cool. Obviously I need to put my intention to being in school or whatever it is. So if you're meeting it with resistance or something doesn't feel right or it feels off, acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Acknowledge it, listen, trust your gut. Trust your gut. Trust your gut for good and bad things, or not good or bad, but what feels right for you. If it feels off, it's off.
Mm-hmm.
If it smells fishy, it's fishy.
Yep.
So if it feels right, it feels good, go there. That's how you know that you're in alignment. And sometimes feeling good is a healthy cry. So
Yeah.
that if what would I always ask myself, is this going to improve my quality of life? Is this going to make me feel better? Is this going to make me live a more authentic life? Whatever I might be interested in, is this going to improve my quality of life? Whether that be, oh, should I speak up about something that's going on at work? Is this going to improve my quality of life? Getting this off my shoulders, shooting my shot with this guy so I can stop being worried about
Mm-hmm.
what this is. Shoot your shot. You'll definitely feel better knowing if he likes you or not.
Yeah.
Because now you can make the decision to shift. Wherever that shift will be, now you can move, now you can act.
Mm-hmm.
So if you find yourself in your head, find the answer through what feels right. Because
Yeah.
you're already asking yourself the question over and over again in your head. So it's like, does that feel good? Acknowledge it, go there,
Mm-hmm.
go there.
I love that. Now, my final question for you, and this is going to get deep.
I'm not ready.
What does it mean to be unapologetically Bria?
Oh, Bria's so cool. Bria's awesome. For me to be unapologetically Bria is to allow myself to just be goofy and to have fun. And the biggest thing that I've learned is to not put pressure on myself, unnecessary pressure to show up in a way that's not authentic for me. Um, I was going to wear this shirt that's underneath this hoodie. And then I was like, I'm comfortable in this shirt. Like, there's no reason for me to be showing my shoulders if I don't want to. And so it's just like really
Love
listening.
it.
It's like really listening to myself and not trying to force myself to do things that I don't want to do. And that's really what it is. I have to just show up as Bria every day because she's awesome. Why would I want to hide her? There's nobody like me out here in this world. So I have to just be me, and I have to keep inspiring other people through being the living example of self-evolvement and going through this process myself so that I can inspire people. I'm all about the I call it the chain reaction of inspiration, because you can't change people, but people can be inspired by you taking the steps to change your life, and that will want them to change their life. That makes sense? I feel like
Yeah.
I said that weird.
I got it.
But you can't, people have to want change for themselves. And if you really want to help change this world, I feel like you have to first change yourself and you inspire other people. So that's what I'm doing. I'm being the living example for the world that I want to see. I want people to focus more on themselves.
Yeah.
It's not about being selfish. There's no selfish energy here. There's no selfish energy here. When you look inward and you focus on your own logs and your own eyes, you can heal the world because you're inspiring people and they're like, dang, she really worked through it. You know, wow, I want that for myself. I want that for my family. But
Yeah.
you have to realize everything that you want for the world, your family, your friends, starts with you. So I don't know who taught me this, but it was like, if you ever want anything or if you ever really want to create lasting change, you have to be the living example. And that's all that Bria is here to do through self-discovery and evolvement and personal growth. Because it's all about just going through this journey for yourself. And I'm here to be the face. That's so weird, but be the talent behind Duelist Bloom, because I have to step into that for
Yeah.
me to inspire other people to step into it for themselves, which is weird for me because, like I said, introvert by nature. And I would love to just spend some time with myself and not be posting things to the whole world. But there's something unique and special about me, and there's something unique and special about everybody who's listening right now. And you just have to lean into that and allow the universe, allow whatever higher power you believe in to use that. So you have to allow yourself to be the vessel, and that's what I'm doing. I'm allowing myself to be the vessel for the change that I want to see in this world. That's what it means to be unapologetically Bria. Whew.
I tell you, like, I feel like any guest that I have, like, I know it's going to be good, but I know it's that feeling of once you actually get to speak with them, once you hear their story or just their voice in general and hear the knowledge, information that they give,
Yeah.
you just become one of my new favorite people.
Oh,
Now officially like internet friends. Like I
yes, we're
love to
friends.
talk to you.
Yay. This is what I love about podcasting. I've met some of my closest internet friends through podcasting. So I love that it brings people together. And obviously, we were attracted to each other for a reason. And I had told myself, I was like, I'm not taking on any more podcast guests, because I changed the format for my podcast to really just create that space for people to do that inner work. And I still have guests on occasionally, but I don't get to share
Yeah.
everything inside me. So thank you for letting me come here and share my sparkle, my glitter with everybody.
Thank you, first of all, thank you for being a part of the podcast. Oh, you are my first official guest of 2021.
Oh,
And
thank you.
yes, girl, you just set the bar. You set the standard. Like, you just set
Didn't mean
the
to
bar.
snatch any edges. I didn't mean to.
Make sure mine's still intact.
Secured. Oh my gosh.
Guys, this concludes today's episode of Unapologetically Her. I just want to say, Bria, thank you again so much for joining me. Oh, it was a pleasure having you Oh my gosh. Just before we close out, is there any final remarks? Remind them where they can follow you, where they can support you, whatever the case may be.
Yes, if you loved anything I said, I am talking about it always at Doulas Bloom, sharing a little bit of my journey and what I'm going through. So if you want to see firsthand this living example, you can follow me at Doulas Bloom. It's DEWLESS Bloom, BLOOM. And yeah, let's get connected. You can join one of my women's circles if you're interested, and you can always just come to a village night if you want to just, be in community without being with too many people, really come in and look inside, because Instagram is nice to see what's happening. But if you really want to be in the circle, really meet some people who are in this space of really leaning into themselves and be supported in your journey, come on, we got you. Loving arms, like open, wide, loving arms. We want to see you grow. We want to be here to support you.
Yeah.
We love you. I love you. Come on.
You're like, you just gotta do the Janet Hart. Just
Yes, I do this with my little brother all the time. Yes, and just remember that you're an inspiration. Like literally, you inspire people, whether it be your friends, coworkers, people that you pass in the grocery store. Like you're inspiring people in some way, whether it be you being confident enough to wear the outfit that you're wearing, do your hair the way that you're doing it, speak out the way you're speaking out. You're an inspiration. You inspire people. So that's what I'll leave you with.
I feel like a weight has been lifted, but there's still so many things to think about. I'm about to watch this a couple times for myself. Shoot. So you guys, thank you again so much for listening. If you would like to hear from Bria again, or if you have any comments, questions, podcast topics, you can hit me up on social media at Natalie. At Natalie Nadeen, if you want my personal account. But for the podcast, at Unapologetically Her. Also, you can hit me up on Twitter at unapologetic_UH. And don't forget, you can listen to the podcast on various streaming platforms where podcasts are hosted, and that includes SoundCloud and YouTube by searching Unapologetically Her podcast. Once again, thank you all so much for listening. Bria, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a pleasure and an honor. And hopefully you guys tune in for a new episode. Much love. Peace.